Betsy Speicher's articles on philosophy, psychology, and education have appeared in The Objective Standard, The Objectivist Forum, The Intellectual Activist, and popular magazines and professional journals. She is a graduate of the University of Pennsylvania with a degree in philosophy and a Wharton School minor in finance. For several decades, she was a software designer and project manager building custom computer systems for banks and brokerage firms, insurance companies, utilities, and manufacturers. Betsy.
My book is The Wise Way to Success and Happiness. And here's a good summary of my book. Here's a good summary of my book from a top-rated 5-star Amazon review by John Paquette. Some of you might know him. In this self-described ultimate how-to book, it says on the first page of chapter 1, knowing why is the key to success and happiness. It then goes into a profound, yet surprisingly easy to read discussion of what why means. Why we ask why, questions, etc. Ultimately, it shows you the how of achieving any goal or solving any problem in life. Hint, it involves learning why. Of course, such a small book isn't about the thousands of details involved in solving life's problems, but it gives you an amazing amount of general wisdom regarding such tasks as keeping a clear goal in life, achieving complex tasks, learning from your errors, being creative, remembering and recalling what's most important, dealing properly with one's emotions, finding reliable experts or consultants, convincing others, and even raising happy, successful children. The book is replete with examples which illustrate the principles it teaches. The examples are as simple as a boy trying to get a cookie from his mother, to a detective trying to solve a murder case, to a software project manager trying to deliver a product on time at a company where there are political obstacles. The examples are well written in the manner of engaging fiction. You'll find yourself wondering what will happen next. This is not a typical self-help or how-to book. You won't be overwhelmed with concrete advice like get up early and exercise 30 minutes before you go to work. Instead, you'll get a really good understanding of how your mind can work most effectively in all manner of situations: social, emotional, analytical, creative, pedagogical, persuasive, etc. If there's one core idea to the book, it's the basic nature of causes and effects. That understanding causes and effects requires thinking about capital T things and their capital C characteristics. Yes, the book even capitalizes these words to emphasize just how important they are. This is the kind of book which I'd recommend to any person, but especially to a young person who is about to embark on the great journey of life. It's a book which provides a method for navigating human existence, stated in such plain language a 12-year-old could understand it. Okay, so why did I write this book? It started a long time ago. My father was a successful entrepreneur who faced life with the bouncing enthusiasm of a child. I idolized him. And as I made my way into the wider world, I discovered how rare people like my dad were. I decided that finding out why he was so happy and successful was something crucially important, because I wanted to grow up and be happy and successful too. I watched what my father did. I constantly asked him why he did what he did, and he always had an answer that made sense. I came to him when I wanted something, and he showed me how to get it. Little by little, I adopted his approach to life, and it worked. From the age of 7 on, I earned money all by myself and got the things I wanted: a bicycle, a camera, a tape recorder, and a college education. I did small jobs for others and started little businesses. I got straight A's, not because I studied hard and memorized, but because I was immensely curious and was able to figure things out. Always on the lookout for people who saw life the way my dad and I did, I sought out and found a few more. That set me up for Ayn Rand. When I first read her novels at age 18, I immediately recognized her heroes were my kind of people. I investigated further to learn as much as I could about what she advocated and if and why it was true. Then, in an authorized biography of Ayn Rand, I read, at about age 12, a change was occurring in Ayn's approach to ideas and methods of thinking, a change which fascinated and absorbed her. She called her new method thinking in principles. She had held definite convictions before, but now, in a major step toward adulthood, she began to formulate her ideas in conscious conceptual terms. She began to construct abstract, logical chains of whys, to identify the deepest reasons of her convictions, to ask herself about all the issues of her concern, what she believed, and why. That's what my dad and I were doing. As objectivist intellectuals began writing wonderful books explaining and applying Ayn Rand's ideas, I expected one of them to write about the crucial importance of Ayn Rand's method of causal reasoning. Nobody did, so I did. The secret of success and happiness is understanding the whys being the causes and the reasons things are what they are and do what they do. That's essentially cause and effect, and it applies to everything. In the book, for instance, it is written on a popular level. Young adults can access it easily. But I have things in it such as reality testing, using the laws of logic, the 3 laws of logic. And I come up with a certainty test, which is in effect the solution to the problem of induction. Because it tells you when you can be absolutely dead bang certain that something is true and is always true. And I use it with 2 examples to prove, one, that all men are mortal, and that all calico cats are female. Okay, 2 generalizations of very different kinds, but also it is the same process Ayn Rand used to come up with her own certain things, such as it is only the concept of life which makes the concept of value possible. I'll give you a little hint. If you find, see, when you say all men are mortal, that's saying all A is B, right? But if you find the cause of why all men are mortal, the cause, it reduces it to all A is A, which is absolutely certain. Now, how do you do that? And I show why that's the case, because I show what causes really are. Most people implicitly are holding on to the human view of causality, that things, a cause and effect is this happens, or this happens and this must happen. No. This is, my book's based on the Aristotelian Randian view, that a cause is the nature of the attributes of entities. Or I originally, when I was writing the book, I called them attributes and entities, Aristotle. And my target audience, it went right over their heads, my peculiar terminology. So I made it things and their characteristics, which is, pretty much the same thing. But that puts the focus on reality. It's what things, what characteristics. Very little theorizing and a lot of generalization and conceptualization from easily observables. Also, I deal with a lot of concepts, but not under names you're used to. For instance, I deal with the subconscious, emotions and creativity, subconscious and creativity. Then I call it your database, because subconscious has a lot of connotations involved. Okay. I also deal with concept formation, but I call it organizing your database. Okay, and I make an analogy to a guy who's trying to organize his garage so he can fit his sports car into it. And I show the principles of organization, of organizing a garage, and things are the same ones for organizing your thinking and your knowledge. And I tell people, okay, your database, your knowledge is a mess. No problem. It's never too late to tidy up. And I show how to do it. I have a step-by-step on how to solve a problem. Step one, have the right attitude toward the problem. Like, it doesn't mean that, it's a metaphysical disaster. It doesn't mean that you're an inadequate person. It just means that you're you don't know all the answers and you make mistakes. Welcome to the human race, okay? But then, understand, problems happen on the way to your goals. Okay, and they're to be fixed, okay? Have the right attitude. Then you break up what kind of a problem do you have. And all problems fall into one of three categories. You're missing something you need. Something that you need has the wrong characteristics, or there's an obstacle. Something is an obstacle. And I show how to deal with each, depending on what kind of a problem it is, what you do next, and so forth. I have step-by-steps on how to find a cause, how to think creatively, because in principle, things proceed causally normally when you want to accomplish something.